Well, hello and welcome. All right, let's let the board do its magic here. It's trying to get everybody. There we go. Wow. Carl, nice job, man. 712. And even just last weekend, man, we broke the 500. That is outstanding, man. That is pretty awesome. Not too bad some of my numbers aren't reflecting that, but you know, hey. I also didn't make a really awesome belt printer. I mean, that thing, you know, definitely getting some good attention. That's awesome to see. And still got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more people that I can put it in there. 530 in 2 weeks. That is not bad at all. Not bad. I didn't realize that you were like that far down before last live or last weekend. That is outstanding. Hey, welcome One Raz. All right, let's 182 before Murph. Jeez. Yeah, you're definitely taking off, man. But again, creating a really awesome printer, you know, that's kind of cheating. You know, I mean, here I am just hanging out, you know. That's all right. But no, for real, congratulations, and I hope everything just keeps excelling for you. I am very impatiently waiting for news on the Squire and for everything else to financially free up so I can start investing in all these projects that I keep wanting to do, that people make all these cool things, and I just like, man, y'all are tapping me dry every month. Like, I have nothing, I can't keep up. True. Awesome. Is she going to try to get plans working on Creality side to like do a partnership of using your design and using you as a technical expert to make a clone version? Yeah, true. Business stuff, always. Oh, well, I guess without any much further ado, let's get to some designing here. China cloning a design, never. Yeah, I know, right? Why would they think of that? Alright, so let's save this as the 2E 2E Cyclops. That way it'll be already good. Alright. Nice. Yeah, keep it US bound. No, I'm just kidding. But hey, that's a company decision. Then, you know, you're the author, you're the designer. I stand by you. It'd be kind of nice to have, and not in a mean way, but it would be nice to have some more like US made products like this that can offer support too, or you know, parts that you can actually replace by going to a local hardware store instead of having to basically order everything from overseas because there's like no real place to get millimeter anything around here. Yeah, true. Yeah, and Naomi would definitely be able to help keep them on track with it since, yeah, it didn't work too well back in the day, but let's see, I need to edit the canvas. Rotate. Ooh, too much. No, I don't want 5 degrees. Let's try like 2 degrees. No, 1 degree. Yeah, there we go. All right, so I was off by 1 degree. Okay, let's see. Make sure I got all this. Yes. All 90% of the parts are sourced US. Good deal. Yeah, basically I just took a picture of the current mount, did the insert, attach a canvas, and then, you know, I just selected this plane and then hit my select image, and then once it came in, it had this menu basically, so you can scale it or whatever. I just kind of make it big so I can actually see it. But I had the degree off, so it rotated just a little bit. Still good now. And then once you do that, then basically right click again, say calibrate, and as you see, I already took a measurement with my calipers, so then I just marked it from the very edge over here and took the very edge. It's hard to see, but they're on the 2020 rail, or the 2020 slot, right at that junction 90-degree angle corner. I picked that, and same on the other side, and then I gave it the 77.2. That way it would scale it the right way that I need it, so now I can draw directly over top, and yeah, I can draw the mount based off of what I see and what I need. Because yeah, I went with the Pet Fang Cyclops, but unfortunately, and I didn't know this ahead of time, this edge does not line up over here. I mean, you can hook it, but then the center is like more over the brass nut on this side. So it's not centered like more over the wheel. And then none of these other holes line up with that mount either. Like the mounting hole over here, none of that lines up. These don't line up, and it's a mess. So, but it does have a really big cavity between the metal heat sink and the very back wall even. I mean, it's got a nice deep hole for the heat sink, with a vent hole on the side so that, you know, it's not directing it down, and the bottom is fairly sealed up. I mean, there's very, very little gap, you know, to make sure that air flow isn't going down into the print, which is also really nice. So I figured what I would do is, for at least the first iteration, take, and I've only taken off one side at the moment, but take the factory metal shroud and basically make a mount / insert that will fit within this cavity. That way I can just drop this right on. It'll be like the simplest conversion pack, because this is what I got from the E2 upgrade kit, not the full out printer. So I don't have I guess the same base plate. I like this base plate versus the original factory base plate, but in this kit, yeah, it just doesn't quite work like what I need to. But I am still developing the secondary fan add-on that I was making before with the tri nozzle, and I was almost going quad, so that you still have that as an option for this for the factory mount. So even if you don't have this mixing nozzle, or if you do, then there'll still be a different fan replacement to go from just, sorry, I have one of the fans off, to go from the single that has just the 2-port like this that's on either side to having essentially it'd be a big bracket like that. I just got to make room for the new hot end, and I've got it here on my desk. So there's, ooh, there we go. So there's the new mixing portion, nice big block. So when you attach it, I mean, single side mount heater cartridge goes all the way through, and very nice split. So yeah, I'm hoping this thing will be very nice. Right you are, Brian Vines. This is the X carriage on the X5ST-2E or E2, depending on which way you look at it. Their website still says 2E, but I think it's supposed to be E2. But I don't know. It's all confusing. Anyway. So, I need to take this part out. Where's my screwdriver? There's my calipers. Where did I put my screwdriver? It's the thing, I'm always losing my tools. There it is. Okay. So the one thing that I really like about this mount, so I don't know, I may have to pull some design pieces from that too. Yeah, it's a basically like an E3D Cyclops clone from my understanding. But I don't know if the measurements are all right. Like, I don't know if they made it way too short or not. Need to do a teaching NAC 3D designs for You know what, Carl? I know this is kind of far up in the chat, but yes, I just watched a bunch of Lars Christensen Fusion 360 tutorials. Not that I remember everything in them. I have to watch them like numerous times, but I actually just built his whole model that was through the design, and from that, because of how much I had already played with Tinkercad, I was just like, I need to elevate it. So I just started playing with this, and I was watching tutorial after tutorial, watching different people do stuff, and it's clicking, at least so far. So alright, so this is the actual heat break that they did. I mean, there's the pass-through to line up, but I mean, all said and done, when it's together, I mean, that's all it really is right here. But I mean, this is the one that they shipped with my upgrade kit. So as you can see, big issues like straight out the gate. I mean, yeah, I got a nice silicone sock, but I mean, the height is going to be killer right there. Thankfully, it's pass through, so even though it'll sit low enough to print, it'll be buried inside of the factory housing, so I may not be able to do it so much. Hold on just a second. Okay. Alright, so let's get some measurements, because I need to make sure I design up a block here. Alright, 24.7, 24.9. Okay. Center rectangle. So 24.9, 24.7. All right, So there's my extruder block. And then, let's see, from there, okay, line down 56. Okay. Ooh, that's not what I wanted to do. Yes. Still trying to learn like the movement controls. I never have them right. All right. You knew how to as well. So you will need his design. Yeah. Okay. Well, Carl, I only use Fusion just because I was limited in Tinkercad. It was kind of halting my progression. Let me save this real quick. I don't need a new design, but I do want to. Okay, so that's that cooler that I was talking about. Go ahead and open that real quick. So yeah. This design was not able to be done on, or the original design was able to be done on Tinkercad. However, my secondary vent that goes through the back all the way over through this open hole, this whole back, it's hard to see, but in here there's an air cavity going from one side to the other, and these double tube ones that come out through here so that I can have a front blow. That I cannot do in Tinkercad, but here, I mean, it was pretty quick. So like this whole design, so it can have a center blow, and I just got to get the blower piece itself. And then, like I said, there's an inlet here, a double pipe, and then one that comes on the back side to go over here. All of this, and the only reason I'm even playing with it now is because Fusion just, like I said, I've watched many tutorials, and since they're giving this huge program for free for us designers, since we make so little, figured I might as well start doing it. And that was my first major design. Everything else has been like little trinkets and stuff. I still don't even have a finalized version of what I want to do for my maker coin, because I keep changing my idea and what I want to do, and so like it's taking me longer to do that than do everything else. Yeah, it is a little boring, but Lars is actually kind of, at least his early stuff was very engaging. I don't know, it made it nice. Some of it he went a little so fast that I was like, pause, rewind, and I kept having to do it just to make sure I got the steps down. And then I was so proud of myself that I got it done that then I had to watch the whole thing over again because I forgot how to do it, and I just finished it and I was like, dang it. So sometimes it happens. Yeah. Same here. Alright, so this should be the nozzle tip should reach all the way down to here. So my heater block, the new one, is a grand total height of 54.2. So I need another line. 54.2. So this, where is it? Ah, it's not what I wanted. But I need parallel this point. No. Yeah. It's not doing it. Fine. Draw that out. Okay. Why won't you move? Well, bugger. Okay. Why can't I move you? See, I don't really know how to do this. Alright. Alright, what am I doing wrong? How do I... Don't want to fix that. What did I miss? What did I miss? Yeah. Alright. Point to position. Okay, that's not it. Alright, so 24.9. I need to move point to point. Oh, selection, okay, and then target. Origin point. I guess. No. Oh my gosh, why are you doing this to me? Fine. Alright, so apparently I'm like... Well, I don't think MC would help on this point. Alright, we'll just start it over. Alright. Here, down... What did I say this was? Okay, looks like I was off anyway. Alright, so that makes it good. So we'll do 60 there. Line. Here. To the top. How big again? 54.2. There we go. Alright. I don't need a circle. Where is the 2-point rectangle? There we go. And this was... Okay, I don't think the calipers are zeroed right. How is it you get different measurements every time you measure something? That is just weird. Alright. I don't know why it's doing... Alright, well... delete that line, and then make that a non-construction line. There we go. Alright, we'll do that. So this is 18. Extrude this. 18. No. Really? There we go. Okay, so that's where the new heat block will sit, basically. So I need to design around that. That's how thick it is. So, the thickness of the entire plate is 2.6. So distance back is 2.6. Yeah, go find some food there, buddy. All right, so all right, so how far out is that? The head of that screw pointing out 3 mil. Fine. Okay. All right, so these Alright, so I need at least let's see, it's a rectangle. Two-point rectangle. So yes, on the same. Right, so I want to go. Yeah, 3-6 looks good. So we want to put a block. There we go. There we go. All right, so that'll be kind of the framework. It looks like that. Well, I don't know. Let's bring that in just a bit. Or no, let's bring it out. Yeah, let's go to the edges there. Come on, line up. There we go. All right. Do a circle. This is an extrude of, let's do, how big was the cavity here? Well, I guess I should measure from in here. I have a total of 30. Why is it going? This is a new body. Okay, so that'll be the entire thing. This extrude. We will do, yes. Start from the offset. Yeah, there we go. Well, except for, no, I want to be a cut. No. There we go. Now it's a hollow. So yeah, just in case you weren't quite catching that, because I did it out of order, I moved it here on the timeline there at the bottom to make the big body extrude first and then go back to the little body for the cutout. So that would be right. Okay. Alright, so that should cover that piece. We're going to need to go back to this sketch. I need to do our center circle, but only bring it out to 4.5. Sketch 1. So we will go. Trying to think here. All right, night, Carl. All right. So it needs to be offset -5. It's going to go one direction, but I'm going to go maybe 5 millimeters. See how deep. I made that 12. We'll do 12. No. I wanted to join that. There we go. Alright, so now there's an offset tunnel here to go over the brass insert, and then a smaller cavity here, so you can put your screw in all the way through, and the offset of the brass should be like practically touching this piece, so it'll pull it flat. And then the standard extruder bolts is as measured. I took from the inside dropped edge here to the back plane, which on that one sits right on that brass, so that hopefully we can still use that same hole. We'll see how that goes. All right. And then I need a new sketch on this plane. And these are 5.5 and okay, 5.5. The widest point is 11, so we will go 12. All right. No, 11.5. 11.2. So that's what I need to go. All right. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I don't know how well that's going to work. Turn off the canvas for a minute. Yeah, I don't see that working too well. Because even though you can put the screw all the way through, that back piece right here is where the screw head would be, and it's going to hit these PTFE cutouts. Like, the head of the screw is going to be too far in, and you won't be able to put that through. The idea, I guess, here's where the heat sink itself would go. Though I don't know why it made that a hole there. Oh, because I didn't close it off there. Essentially, I guess what I was kind of thinking. Read your comments in chat. Oh, okay, hold on. I removed the brass on all of mine. Okay, get shorter screws. Okay. Why have the full box? Take the brass spacers off. I was trying to account for people who aren't doing that. Like, if they left it on, then it would attach. But, yeah. Probably would be better to just account for taking that out, you know? I was mainly just looking like they unbolt this, and it has, you know, the brass inserts that they don't have to thread those out. They can just literally take the adapter block, slide it right on, put your 2 screws, and then because the hot end or the new one has the 3, which really you only use the front 2. Like this one even, I mean, I don't know, it's hard to see, but when you line the block up and push it through, it's held vertically. So there's no, you know, it's got a hole here to let the air through. So that's what I was kind of thinking, but like I said, I was wanting to try to make it fit in the factory metal housing. So you want just unbolt that, unbolt the 2, and then you pop that new thing on, and then just, yeah, I think that's what we're gonna, yeah. I agree. We're just gonna have to tell them to take that front brass piece off. All right, so where is the sketch mark? Yeah, should be. Oh, that's for that one. That's for the vertical. There we go. So edit that feature. So we want 12, but 0 offset. All right, so. All right, so that'll put the hole all the way through. Yeah, and then you just line your screw, and that'll be flat against here. Oh, what's wrong with this sketch? Review the warning. Edge is missing. You need an edge is missing. Well, why are you missing the edge? I don't get what you're missing. Construction line. Fine, okay. I guess I drew a line somehow and didn't. For ease, raise it up a bit to drop the mounting bolts below the top of the cold end. Do what now? So you're saying raise this line, which is the top of the cold block, higher than this, where the brass fittings are now, but will be removed? Okay, but if well, I measured from down here, the offset I don't think it shows here anymore. Hold on. Okay, why isn't it in the sketch? Okay, so this is 5420, which would be the tip of the nozzle should be hitting right here because it's 5420 total. Where's my heat block? So from top of the heat block to the tip of the nozzle is 54.2, which would be right there. So if I raise the cutout for the heat block or the cold block, if I raise that up higher to make the fittings not be in the way of the brass, then the nozzle is going to be offset too close to the thing. Let me see. Let me just set this against the block. Hold on, I got all my wires all tangled up here. Instead of wrapping them up like I should have, I let them all stay loose. Now they're all just combobulated here. Alright, so let me see if is it not working? Webcam server is off. Hold on. Why is that not running? Oh, the Alright, let's try that again. Alright, hold on. I was trying to get my camera for the Trunksy to start coming up so that I can yeah, okay. Come on. Refresh. Sometimes that's the only thing I hate about Octoprint. Sometimes it just gets on this like weird thing where it doesn't want to like work. Like the web page control just like doesn't want to pull up what you need it to. Come on. Okay, there we go. That should work now. Why do you feel like this is... There we go. Okay. Come on, update the picture. Alright, there we go. So that's the actual mounting bracket. So if I line this up with the heat block bottom edge, there's probably about maybe a millimeter to clear that wheel. If I go like here distance, so it's offset top edge of the brass area, that's what you're talking about? Oh, come on, update the video feed. Hello. Okay. Guess it was. Alright, so if I align the top edge of the heat break, or cold break, like that, then the bottom edge of the heat block clears the wheel. So that you could practically go wheel all like that far down, and you still got the whole nozzle length from the bottom edge of the heat block to the print surface. So that's another 8 millimeters ish. Okay, top of the brass, top of the cold end. Okay, all right, I see what you're saying. So since we're going to remove the brass anyway, let me think. All right, if we're moving that up there, okay, but here's then the next part. Yeah, possibly. But here's the next part. If I raise this edge, which is the top of the cold block, if I raise it up to being even with the brass pieces, we don't have anywhere to mount. Like I don't have any more room. There's no place to go horizontally in to the back plate, unless you're talking about running screws from the reverse side, but then they won't line up anywhere on the heat block. They would only line up on my adapter, but if I do that, then I have to drop in nuts for it to have something to grab. What do you mean screen? Oh, sorry. Okay. Alright. So if we're talking about raising this cavity, which is this cavity inside right here, that's where the cold break is. If I raise it up to meet up with the brass line like that, then there's no place for the bolts to even be to begin with. What do you mean, why not? I mean, there's nothing to screw through. I mean, I wouldn't be able to attach it to where those brass holes would be. There'd be nothing like in the printable design to put a screw through if I raise that block too high. I mean, as is from the plane, I'm using like the outer part of the box would basically air block the rest of the cavity that's left in the hot end, or the factory metal shroud. So all I was going to do is basically make an angle cut here and here to allow the fan to blow directly onto this cold break, and then put little vents on either side so that it blows, you know, sideways. Once it hits the cold break, it'll go out. But I mean, that's like the whole cavity. So right now the bolts would go through, they'd meet up closer back here, but then you still have the hole here for the for the two fittings to go through. Why cut the hole so big the bolt head fits through it all the way? I may have rotated before I understood your point there. Let me get this back up. Alright. So I put front facing holes so you can line up your bolt to go all the way to the back wall. That way it grabs plastic inside here and pushes it against the back plate. Cut off the whole front wall right here. Well, yeah, I know it's cutting off the airflow to the fan, or from the fan in towards the heat block. Yeah, that's the next. Just leave the top edge for mounting the hot end. So you're saying just do this right for right now? Just make it where you bolt it in and then just set the cold block right in, and then the PTFE holes line up. Should be in the shape of a 7. Oh, okay. Hey Vince, sorry if you're still here. Evening, sorry, I kind of got a little distracted from chat. I got too many windows open. Yeah, don't need that. Don't need that anymore. All right. I guess if you're wondering, that big hole, for anybody watching, the bottom one is supposed to clear the nut right above the wheel. It's kind of how low I was thinking that the hot end or the cold end piece needed to go. So I was trying to account for a cutout so it'll. Oh, hey Craig, you know what? I've been beta testing a lot of stuff, so you know, I'm trying to learn. It just, I'd, if I have to be the one to go through all this craziness to help others out to make it where they can get a drop-in part because there isn't a drop-in part that fits these trunksies, that's fine. I'm good with it. I'm thinking I may on a side piece. Eventually, I think I'm gonna reuse this switching dual extruder head or dual color head. Now that I know the measurements that I need to, like, I don't know, maybe put it on the deltas, or maybe put this on the kids printer. I don't know, but I'm definitely not gonna let it go to waste. Just don't know what I'm gonna do it on yet. Because no matter what, I would have to buy another motor. So, you know. Oh, boy. Yeah, so if I do end up trying to adopt my original for the mixing head, ooh, it's not going to be pretty. Because I was just looking at it. Like, if I line this up the way that it would have been, it'd be like that. So those airports wouldn't even work on the mixing head. So yeah, this would have to be if you kept, you know, this end in, because when you line it up, it was, you know what I mean, like it fits. Ooh, angle's all bad here. It would fit like right in that cavity. Now, I had the back one a little too close, that's why it melted a little bit. But it was touching the silicone sock, and it just still retained, you know, too much heat. It wasn't dissipating fast enough, and it did melt. But I mean, it is PLA, so I mean, I wasn't surprised either. Yeah, it was sitting a lot like, it was sitting like that. I just moved. There we go. It was sitting like that. That's why it melted. Gotta rotate. There we go. So that's how I originally had it. But like I said, being PLA, and it lasted for a good full print, and then it was dipping just a little too low. I mean, for a first draft, that wasn't too bad. Because this is, if you see, this is before I added the whole back end to get the secondary air flow. This was the Tinkercad design that I did this one on. I haven't printed out the Fusion version because I've been tweaking too much of it. I'm hoping not. I'm hoping you can just make it out of PLA, to be honest, because I don't print ABS, and so far that's the most damage, and that was just because I had that vent too close. The newer design already has this whole edge further out, the offset of that burn or the melt zone, so the very front leading edge is pulled back like another 4 or 5 millimeters, so that whole edge is, you know what I mean? So like none of my printers have anything ABS on them. It's either PETG or just PLA, and it's 90% PLA. There's only like, I think, a handful of PETG parts on anything. But yeah, I don't print ABS. Plus, I don't have any ABS, so. The only ABS that I ever printed was with the Maker Farm that I've already sold, so, and it was the factory ABS that came with it, or it's not the factory ABS. It's the 2 rolls of ABS that the previous person I bought it from gave me when he gave me the printer, or sold me the printer. But that's the only ABS I've ever used. I haven't even used the 3 little 30 millimeters total of ABS that I, was supposed to be my printer from that Wish debacle way back when. So, but yeah. You almost done, Scott? Jeez. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Alright. I guess while we're waiting. So yeah, this is kind of the design, and then, because I was trying to make it no supports, no issues. You just print in place and then you're good. So this is kind of the design. I didn't, and I'm sorry I keep moving it. I'm trying to get to a good angle that I can explain. There we go. Hopefully you can see that. Well, no, let me zoom in. Okay. So here you would have, no, I want that. Some of the features you're trying, oh, okay, whatever. So what I was trying to do is make it where this curved surface connects to the little miniature radial fans that are factory, and it'll blow 50%, 50%, right? Then you have 2 chambers, or 2 air paths, one on the inner track and one on the outer track, because that way you could print it without supports being in there, or big bridging. It'll make the curve come around here, and then both of them will come curved out here to this opening that I've got to kind of design a vertical triangle thing that'll cone it downward, so it'll go from top, and it'll just be, and then the opening will be at the bottom edge, or sorry, so it'll go from top and then work its way down, and then I'd be able to, on this side, though you can't see it that way. Okay, so on this hollow chamber that goes all the way through, what I was going to do is make some relief cuts, or kind of inject a curved triangle, I guess would be, so it splits this in half, and then you'll have a couple of air vent holes, maybe 2 of them I'm thinking in here, so that the air will go into this chamber, make the turn, and then naturally just like curve out on both sides, so that this hole will have something to avoid big bridging, just in case your machine can't do bridging very well. And then some type of air pocket on this area on both sides will also go. So basically you get 4 direction air hitting your part, so that no matter what part of it it's at, it's still getting some air. The problem that I'm having is just because it's so short, it's hard to get like good angles on it, if you know what I mean. But that's something I'm kind of playing around with. Alright, there we go. Messages. Let's... No, I don't want to forward. I want you to download. There we go. We'll throw this in so I get the design that is coming up. Come on, simplify 3D. There we go. Alright, let's see what Scott has mocked up for us. No, I don't need that. Okay. Oh, I see. I see. You're saying raise it up higher than... Okay. Gotcha. Now I'm tracking like a missile. Okay. You're right, you're right. I overthink it. Okay, so based off of that, let's get the whole mess over again. So if I drop that, so do that, then the... Okay. Got good wiggle room. All right. Okay, so we need to, no. So this sketch 2 is actually the cold block. This is for housing, right? We'll do a shell. Alright, and this is for... There we go. Alright, so we need a shell, edit the sketch. Okay. So this is just for now. Okay, and then sketch 2. Yeah, I know. Alright. So that's gonna be... Ooh, what did it do? There we go. Okay. What? Oh. If you can add the 2 extra bolt holes for extra mounting strength, might as well do it. Oh, you mean these others that are down here? Or at least maybe just like the centered one? Okay. Yeah. Do center. I don't need a second one. Yeah, just the one. Alright, so that should cover both of those. It means this whole area we can get rid of if we're not going to drop below it anyway. Alright. Alright, so we put the bolt holes through. Missing a profile. Yeah, okay. Delete that. Well, I'm not using it anymore anyway. Okay, so this is the only thing I really don't like. Sometimes this stuff just... Oh, I don't want to delete it. Delete that projection. There we go. All right. Extrude. So that cuts out for the whole thing. Okay. Offset 3 mil. -3. All right. So now we have a back wall, no more than 3 mil thick. Put the bolt on. Okay, there we go. Okay, so you put the bolt through, that attaches. Then we need to figure out. Plus, if the top is too thick, then when you have to replace the connectors. Yeah. Okay. So, bolt in. Alright, those bolt in. And then there we go. Alright, so I need what I do. What? Oh, damn it. Okay. Damn it, why did this... There. Now what? Why does this vertex even matter? I'm not even using it for anything. Projection. Alright, so that'll provide the mounting holes. PTFE should go right through that. There's the mounting screws. You can use the third one if need be, but I doubt it. That's just the very back one. Oh, I didn't draw that one right. That should have been on that line. Ahead, not. Ah, okay. Okay. Now I get it. So I needed to go from here to 3 mil. And this is yeah 2.4, but I need it. It would be 5.4. There we go. All right. Get rid of that line. There we go. That's what I meant to do. Alright, so that's the 3 holes, the 2 PTFE. That will not work. Block will not fit. Why won't the block fit? It fits in this big cavity right here. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, so that is the top of the block. We should go maybe like that. Okay, so 25 by 7. What was it that I did before? Oh, no. Sketch. That's what it was. Alright, so there we go. Extent object, this object, there we go. There we go, some big side vent holes. Yeah, you're right. No point in doing all that craziness. Alright, we'll just delete out the oval. Delete the line. There we go. We'll just draw a line. Alright, so from here up here. Alright, so that should give the vent piece in the front the whole cutout so that the airflow, it doesn't do anything. Or are you talking about just taking this line and like diagonal cut all the way to like the bottom here? Minus the wall thickness? Yeah, I guess probably wouldn't be a point to use any of the material much lower than the hole here. I just kind of do that. Take out there. Do that. Alright, well, we'll call that good enough to, let's go ahead and just throw it out of printer. We can do our checks and balances from there. Alright. Yeah, I want the whole thing. Okay. Let's save this thing. Custom. I need a new folder. Alright. Come on, 3D printer. Do. Print. Oop, we gotta turn off supports. Yeah. Off with his head. Alright, it says 35 minutes. Would have been like 36 or 37 with supports. So I guess we will see. Do. Come on, move out of the way. Turn on. Oh good, they already got another release candidate ready. Oh, sorry. Countersink for the bolt heads on the back. Oh, the leading edge over here? Yeah, probably not a bad idea. Let's do 1 mil. What's 2 mil look like? Yeah, one's probably gonna be. Saying like that, just round them out. You think that's enough, or? I think having that rounded profile like that's enough, or should I do like? Are you talking about like an actual like diagonal cut, not a rounded? Chamfer. God, I can't even think of the name. All right, come on. Warm up. Load. Preheat. Flat sunk in area. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Well, there's already, like, right here where this line is, that's the back of the cold block. So there's already this big gap right here. This distance is from this back wall to the back of the cold block. There's already like a voided area all right through here. Like this hole may not even line up. I don't think it's actually representative. You know what I mean? Like where that hole is. I mean, the back of the cold block may reach like right here, about where that mouse pointer is. So it's still got a little bit of air gap right there, but we'll try it out and see if that's going to be an issue. But yeah, I got you. So if it's not, then I know what I need to adjust on that. Alright, come on. Finish heating. Almost there. 62 out of 65. 63 out of 65. Well, it says this is only going to cost me about 5.41 grams of plastic to do. So I would have put it flat against the back wall. Oh, yeah. Well, you know, I was throwing together some of the orientation from when we were already making it shorter, so I didn't quite get that right. I really need to get that out of my start code. No, not the console, you goober. There we go. We'll let the new Delta print stuff. All right, well, it's going. Yeah, true. Well, once I get this basic shape working the way that it needs to, yeah, then we'll do a lot of cleanup. Go ahead and round all the nice edges, make it all nice and purty. See if whether or not we even need that, you know, that bottom back center hole to begin with. I mean, yeah, there's a spot on it, but I mean, I don't know. Really and truly, I mean, even what I mounted in the pet fang, I mean, really, you only need the front two, and that'll help hold it. I mean, I guess. I mean, it's not going to hurt to have all three, you know, for a triangular vertical support. But, I mean, if you've got it, I don't know. Yeah, I'm hoping. I guess the other thing that I was looking at doing is printing. Let me just go back to the desktop. The only other mod that I was like thinking was essentially like printing it. Man, I can't even. Printing it like this, right? So that the PTFE, the biggest holes, are facing down, but have like a U shape, so that it's a lot like this one, in the fact of once you place it in there, it's preventing any of the fan air to go down towards the print at all. Like it you know, by having it almost sealed, I mean, it's still got a little bit of wiggle room, but by having it almost sealed, you cut out any of that extra weird airflow. But then making, you know, kind of like this where it has exit vents so that as the air blows in, it still has somewhere to kind of deflect and go out, you know, so you're not creating a weird vacuum thing. But I guess the more simplistic that I make this, the more universal it'll become, and then you can kind of do your own thing. That way you've got the nice factory stuff, you know? Alright, so that's chucking away on my newer rainbow filament. Because I don't really, I didn't have anything else loaded. So we'll just go with that. Alright, let me get this all entangled because this is driving me nuts. Okay. Do I have another Velcro or red tie or something? Can I seriously, like, get rid of them all? Where did I put them? Well, that sucks. Let's do it the old way. Gets the wires at least manageable. Reattach this other fan. There we go. So what else is anybody working on? Anything? With the wrong screws. Just nail it on its back. You could just add a strip around the clothing. I guess set the I've got too small of a desk, for real. Like, I set one thing down and, like, and I don't find it ever again. And that's how that. You take it over there. If it was a snake. Oh, hey, Carl. It's another Carl. Get you guys at least back to something that's moving. Where did... How did I lose that? There's the colon, there's the... This. Oh, it's right in front of me on my keyboard. I'll try to get the secondary fan mount so that I can put back together the factory holder. Oh, Scott, I saw that one comment from the one guy in the forum about your book that it was saying, you know, don't explain like how to do extruder calibration, just go with the like top level, oh, here's how you troubleshoot. Honestly, my opinion would say no, keep exactly what you've shown me. For the simple fact of, if all you need is, well, check these 5 different things, then you could have already looked at that from the simplified 3D print guide that shows, here's what your print looks like, check these few things. And I think if you're going to try to make an impact, give more information. The other things that the other guides aren't going into, where everybody goes, oh, you need to calibrate your E-steps? Just go to YouTube. There's tons of videos. Why not just have it, leave it in your book like we, you know, like we were doing, or maybe just like tweak it a little bit. Maybe say like the advanced section, go to this other page. You know what I mean? So you have like top level skimming over it, and then a deeper one like later on. So it's not like right by that section. That'd be the only other thing I would say. But anyway, just a thought. Your book. There's a Cartman would say, I do what I want. Alright, where's my highlighter? There we go. I'm going to get my fluorescent. Just in case you're wondering, I put a line on all my motors, or all the fans, even the little hard to get front one. I put the little orange mark. That way, obviously, when it spins, I can see that I don't have a solid line, and I know it's working through Octoprint. And the one on the K280 needs a little bit of love too. Hey, babe. I got a full-time job starting Monday, but sweet. Well, welcome back to the YouTube game. Oh yeah. Yes, very much so. I know my business, the company I work for, they're struggling mainly to find techs that can be more than, I have never worked this job, but I want to make 100,000 straight out, even though I haven't even proven myself to answer the phone. So we kind of have the reverse problem, but you know, it is what it is. Oh, very nice. Nice, Scott. That's good. Yeah, Carl. Definitely taking the plunge with Fusion. I was showing everybody that I kind of mocked up this whole cooler for the E2 for the just original mixing end that had the smaller. I've got to still put the cooling vents, but you know, trying to get more air circulating around the whole thing. So I just got to get the you know, the I'm trying to do for quad directional cooling, but now with the mixing, hot end is a lot wider, and it kind of makes it a little interesting. But again, just trying out some stuff, trying to learn. Do I have Overseer working yet? He just went through a big update, so I haven't like tweaked it out. Overseer. Ouch. That sucks. Yeah, I can, man. Yeah, definitely. At least you're back at it, or able to get back at it. It is an unfortunate side effect. All these companies trying to save a buck by outsourcing, and just, yeah. Hmm. Oh, well, apparently there's a update for Fusion. So I guess let me go ahead and say what I got. And I'll restart Fusion, and then yeah, we should be good on that. Come on, launch. So, yeah. I don't know if you guys heard, saw, or anything, but I did try my attempt at piecing back together a multi-part STL that, and I say multi-part because, like, and you'll get it here in a minute, but like every piece was a separately saved STL, but the way they did it, for whatever reason, it would not reassemble with the origin. So essentially what I was trying to do is take a single STL group that was made to be like a dual colored, or more for that matter, but a multicolored print. I couldn't get like the original model origin, so it took me like 4 hours, I think, to reassemble the model in the best way possible so that like all the original parts lined up, so that you could actually like print it as like one go. Let me show you. So this is what took like 4.5 hours to do. Bam. I got Mega Man all put back together. What's his name? Chaos Cortex used ZBrush when he made the original whole STL file and everything. And I don't have the 3D builder stuff on. Well, this is the full, like, because somebody wanted to do this on a resin printer, so I was at least just assembling the model and then can kind of go from there. So this is the master, right? Oh, come on, are you seriously gonna walk up now? hate when Windows 7 like does this. Just like all of a sudden just goes, oh, I can't find anything. I don't know how to launch. I don't know what a computer is. Come on. Okay. Come on. Come on. There we go. Alright, well, there's his full head, which, just so we put it in perspective, right? This model has a black insert eyes, white outsert, the face, so that's 3, the helmet itself 4, this piece 5, this piece 6, the ear 7, the other ear 8, the insert in the ear 9, insert in the other ear 10. So this one head is 10 pieces that I had to like line up and do all this craziness with to get it to like kind of work. It's still not perfect, but I mean, since it's been quite a while and he hasn't like gone back to edit the file yet. But yeah, if you and I can put the link to the file. Oh, this is just the red parts. Crap. That's not what I wanted. So that's the orientation of the 2 ears and then the blaster. Oh, it didn't save my changes that I did. Okay. So this is what I was working on, was to get it where the model, like, so you could drop it and like this is all one color, and then that way you can take that. I just use Simplify 3D, to be honest. It was a very long process. But see, I can't get these to offset for some reason. But this is all of color 2. See, I don't know why it's the right height on here, but it's not. Come on. Dual extrusion. Yeah, we'll do that. See if that works. Come on, change it over. There. So then, and yes, right now this would be huge, but this is what I was working on, was trying to get it so you could do, say, I'm going to do the dual color, you know, profile, and then you've already got the head, or part color 1 and color 2 based off of the diagram that he made, but they're already in the right position, they're lined up. Then it was to try to get the face all lined up in there, but since that has like 3 colors by itself, then it was like, oh, okay, well, what do I do? So then I was trying to export it where, I mean, it's not going to show it right here, but to cut it off right here at the shirt, or the waistband, I guess, so that the legs, all of this, so that you could put the waistband at, you know, on the foot of the build plate, and then that way it would practically print with no support because it's going upside down. He designed and supports possible resource for learning. Yeah. Well, you know, and even when he did the video where him and Joel went to the bakery and put it all together, I noticed that, like, the blaster, the seam line here, he cut it off so that the blaster upper half was printed, and then the lower half, because it's got like this weird soft edge, but it's not, the file's not broken up that way. It's broken up as a solid object. And I was like, oh, but you didn't put the tip in there to say, hey, cut this off so that you can have 2 flat surfaces, you glue them back together, and then it looks great. You know, or if you can see the inside of the helmet, I mean, it's like, it's all dimpled out. You know what I mean? There's no hard, I mean, even the edge right here is all like dimpled out. So it's not a hard line. And then the face itself is a lot like that. I mean, it's let me drop just the face in. Come on, grab it. I don't know why my computer's acting like this tonight. Didn't do too bad on the bridging though. Alright, that is taking way too long to import. Come on now. Sonic Customs. Figure. Come on. Yes. Move out of the way. I don't know why it's doing this tonight. Ever since Microsoft announced that they're not going to support Windows 7 very much longer, it's on the last year, it's like my computer's just gone to crap. Everything is starting to have issues. Come on, pull the file already. Yeah. The other one, Scott, that I think maybe you should look into is, was it Lubon? Where you can take just about any STL and you can tell it like your overall master size that you want, and then in his program tell like the max bed size chunk, and it'll automatically like break it up. And he did one that it like did, I think the normal ones that he do are anywhere from 20 to 30 pieces, and because they broke it up, you know, and it's just the outer wall basically, they're fairly quick prints respectively, you know what I mean, and then you could 3D gloop them, do kind of like the Alien community project that he did, so that you could put it all together. Oh, looks like the print's done. Homing, so we'll let that cool real quick, and then never let the machines win. Welcome back, sir. I apologize, I cannot remember the name because I'm horrible at names. I really am. There we go. There's the face. Golly, I don't know why it took so long just to select it. But as you see, I mean, here, let me uncheck. See what I mean? Like, you use ZBrush, and that's great. You know, I don't knock them for that, but it's like the model could have been possibly, you know, like a hardline angle. You know, and even in here, like make it more like low polygon, you know, cuts, and then that way it locks into the helmet better. And but then the helmet should have like hard cut lines as well, and not like where it looks like you took a paintbrush and like punched, you know, the edging. I mean, it just, but then it's got the big, it's hard to get the shading right. Hopefully you can see it, but this is where the black insert for the eyeball will go all the way through and all the way to the back, but then the white one only goes to here. And, you know, at the same time, it's like, okay, well, then why didn't you bring this wall forward so that when you print, you do flat on the back with the white and flat with the black, you know, so that those two edges line up perfectly, and then you just set it in. Because right now you'd put this edge of the black eye flat on the bed, but then when you put the white one, you don't realize that like they're going to be offset. I haven't put together the face yet because of that. It's a little weird. But again, you know, I tried to assemble model origins to get, because they weren't saved in the STL file, so I had to kind of create one, and my attempt was I'm going to remove the helmet, as you saw from other, to have the, you know, the entire helmet piece sit there. I mean, I got it where it lines up like that, you know what I mean? I just don't have it, but what I want to do is make it where waist and legs, well, it can be that one print, and it's already orientated to be, you know, waist at the build plate, so you can do dual color for the inside leg versus the breast, and then the upper body, so that you only have a little bit of supports under this edge, and then it would be under this edge, and maybe like very outer part right here, but then the rest of that will all print normal. You know what I mean? Because like the arm does jut out, but then you're going to have all that cleanup from the bottom here. So I don't know. I don't know if there would be like a better way of really orientating it for that. But otherwise, I mean, that's what it comes out to when you don't have flesh tone for the face. And you could do, you know, I did all my parts obviously separate, and then just took some hot glue and put it all together. But I would like an actual like solid print, you know, or as much as you can, so that like cleanup's easier. And if you wanted to hand paint it, then you can, or if you want to send it at a resin printer, then you don't have like all 17 parts that you'd have to find a way to then like dab some resin, you know, between the two, and then UV, you know, seal that. I don't know. I don't have a resin printer, so I don't know how that all works. Yes, you can tell it to not drop to the plate, but the problem that I'm having, like I said, none of the parts have an embedded origin alignment. So if you told it like I did on that, you know, on mine, align the two pieces origins, you know, so that you can do like a dual color, even on the rest of the parts, not including the face, none of it lines up. It all stacks all the parts right up on top of each other because there's no origin piece. So it's just something I've been playing with. I mean, like I said, a lot of it is just exploratory to learn how to do stuff. The other thing that would have been nice, and he said he was thinking of doing it, was he was going to edit the model, the source model, and put key registration, you know, little pieces into it. And so that's when I was thinking, oh, well, if I put the model back together the way it should be, then maybe you could put it in, was it Mesh Mixer? I don't remember. I saw the video of somebody else that did it where they show where you could do your plain cut line, but then also put your registration squares in there. But Lubon is supposed to be able to do automatic ones as well, if I remember right. If you tell it like, here's where I want you to cut, and then make a registration mark so it, you know, auto aligns. I mean, that would be nice. Because like this joint alone, just between the blaster and the arm, I had to like half embed the blaster into the arm just to get like some of the back part here where the arm is going in. It doesn't align properly. Like the two models are still like a little bit of, when you, if it's going to take too much to do it right now, but if I go into the print preview, even when you're scrolling down the layer, there's like a pocket that's in here and one that's down here. And no matter what I do, I can't get it to fill the void to just make it all infill. It's like it prints and it cuts out this like hole in it, and then it comes back together in two spots. The only other thing I thought of was, you know, since I'm assembling this, make an oval or something that's, or a circle, you know, whatever, and then just drop it right in that area, and then export it back out. Mesh Mixer make solid? Okay. See, I don't know enough about Mesh Mixer either, and I tried to reach out to the community to find out, you know, is there a better program to use, because it was taking me forever to align all this stuff, and I don't know of another program. I mean, like I said, I already reached out to Chaos Cortec. I can't even remember his name right now. But I sent him an email way back and then here recently. So 2 different times I've kind of reached out to him and be like, hey, I love this model. Is there any chance that you can either just put registration squares, or somebody else even asked him, hey, can you make this a fully solid model so that someone could do a resin-based print, where it would actually, all the parts would lined up correctly. So I don't know. I guess if any geniuses out there can teach me some Mesh Mixer and how to import, I guess, my combined version or the raw version, I don't know, and then like get them where all the parts line up like they're supposed to. I don't know. But anyway. Alright, so we got our part now. Okay, so super tight fit. So I can't even really slide the head up in because the sidewalls are a little too narrow, just a hair. Alright, well, at least, so now I know that. Got to make it a bit bigger. Okay, the round holes are just a hair too small to allow the PTFE to couplers to go through them. It's good to know. I think all my dimensions were a little too close. Alright, well, let's just take the PTFE couplers out and look at the hole alignment. Oh, wow. Yeah, that hole alignment is not going to work at all. Alright, so I just took it off and reversed it so that I could line up, you know, the holes. The vertical screws to hold the block, all three little ones line up like almost spot on. But then the PTFE is way off center. Let's see if I can hold it and rotate so you guys can see. But that's why this iterative design, you know, hey, learn something new every day. Alright, so this is with the 3 screw holes aligned. You see the PTFE couplers are off center. They're too close to the base. So well, I'm showing the print from Chaos Cortec, the Mega Man, that I painstakingly took 4.5 hours to get reassembled all together so that you could try to do a dual color print, you know, as is, but, you know, not quite there. But other than that, we're Fusion. It just got updated. Alright, where's my Cyclops? Come on. Alright, well, tell me what's new, please. Oh, I gotta know. Weird zoom issue was reported by those of you on Windows 7 machines. Oh, yeah. I had crazy weird issues. Crash when you turn off the visibility of certain sketches. Didn't have that issue, but okay. Machine configurations applied incorrect values. Alright, didn't see any of that. Lead out and lead to center and the board toolpath, didn't use any of that. Generate stock generated by relative. Not sure. Okay, I didn't see that. There was some wonkiness in the code where it caused the setup sheet to incorrectly scale an SVG path. Yeah, I didn't have that either. Okay, so I guess I didn't really get any of the good updates because I didn't really have any of those issues. So yeah, there we go. Alright, so out of this design, so again, these two holes are all 3 of these little holes lined up perfect, but these big holes were too far back, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense, to be honest. Wow, I guess now I'm seeing it. Alright. Yeah. Okay. So, essentially, PFT sketch. The tops of all 3 of these circles are actually aligned. Well, this one is just a hair below these. Okay. So if I drop that, but then I have to extend. Okay, so we'll stop that sketch for the moment. We will go back to shell. Okay, there we go. How big is this screw? $10 mil. I need a $5 mil. I don't know if I have any. Alright, well, I'll have to look at that in a minute. Sketch. That's the sketch I need to edit. Okay. So this is literally 30, 29. Alright, so I need to do 30.2. And this will just make 30. Shell. Okay. So that should help that alignment. Okay, stop that. Okay, so we did that. And we added that back in. Okay. And we did that show, but something is wrong. What is wrong? The vertice is missing. What vertice are you missing? I don't understand. Relink. Relink. I guess this was what it was talking about. I don't know. Okay. I think I did it the other way around though. Okay. So when looking at the cold block, distance from here to here. I don't even know what that other line is. I don't know what this. I think this line is causing me some issues, but I don't know what line that one is. Alright, so okay, that's a lot better. If I line that up, then I have to the center line of that should be okay. Distance. 11. So I guess what happens if I just delete the circle out? There we go. Alright, so center point should be See, that doesn't make any damn sense. Why are you being so hard? Someone help. So the widest point of this PTFE coupler is 11.3 millimeters. So this will do 11.35, just a hair bigger. But it shows that from the outer edge to the center on the back is about 5.3 millimeters in, which is why, I mean, okay, so don't need that. So 5.3. But this edge should still have prior to the end of the block. I mean, I don't understand why is the measurements all wrong. Carl, I'm trying to fix the custom part that we made to basically allow the dual coal black to line up and go in. I don't understand what I'm doing wrong with the numbers. Hold on, I think I just figured out what I'm doing wrong. Oh, crapiola. Okay, I see what I'm doing wrong. I'm measuring from the outside of the whole thing, not outside of the cutout block that we're doing. Oh, man. Okay. Well, that makes more sense now. Okay. All right. So how do I get that line to show up right? I think that's the edge right there. Okay, so this should be the end or the height of the block. It's 5 millimeters in. So that should actually, if I'm okay, 10.3. That should be okay. So that would line it more up with this line, but see, it's still cutting over wrong. You can project that line into your sketch. The cutout block is too small? What do you mean the cutout block is too small? Let me stop my sketch so I can get back to the part. What are we saying is too small? I'm sorry. Right, I already increased the dimensions of the square now. Ugh, not extrude. So this is the small, or this is the for the cooling block itself. Literally, it measures at 30 on the X, which I've got it at 30.2 now, and 29.8 tall, which I've rounded up to 30. So I've given it an extra 0.2 for it. Well, because the print itself, when I did it right on 30, well, no, I guess I didn't account for that much shrinkage. Yeah, it's got an inside diameter now. Let me get to the right section here. It says 29. 29.2. Man, it's losing 0.8 millimeters of shrinkage. That is ridiculous. Yeah, I know. Tall doesn't really matter. So it would need 0.8. So it did one extra perimeter in on either side than what it should have done. The K280. Should be. I guess that could also be part of my problem, is that it's not really. I mean, I've run all the auto calibrations. I mean, could have a, that could be another issue. All right, so the outer shell, let me. So I added just a hair. It says it's supposed to be 40.2 now, though I think I added 0.2 on it to make it 5 even. So would have been 40 overall, and overall 40 is exact. So outer dimensional print is good. I guess it's just the inner dimension print is not quite. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try it on the regular KLP, because that one I haven't had any issues with like in forever, as far as like size dimension. I don't understand what it's. Which sketch? I've got like 4 sketches now. I mean, depending on like where you're at in the timeline, you know what I mean? Well, there it is. Alright, that deletes that extrude, so all I've got is the sketch. You're saying move that sketch here to the end? Okay. Okay, how do I project it though? I've never done that. Yeah, right here? So what, I project this whole bottom? Is that what you're talking about? Like, what do I select for the project? because the whole thing is body, so it'd have to be a specified entity. Okay, so I'm getting the line. Is that what we're talking about? So that it makes sure that I'm lining that part up. So that's what I don't get still. But all it's really, I mean, this is the projected edge right here, right? So here, to here. Okay, so that's, I mean, that's what I measured. But I guess my problem is, okay, if this pink line is the projected edge, which should be the outer edge of the block, if I take that edge and measure to say like the center of these grub screws because they're smaller, which is in center of the large PTFE whole everything, that comes out to, hold on, maybe that's why I'm off, is it's not lining up right anyway. Okay, that's probably my issue right there. I don't know how I was getting 5.3. Okay. Well, that's more like what I'm actually seeing. Okay. I don't know why my measurement is off so bad. Okay, but the bottom hole is 6.5. I don't know why. Yeah, 6 and 6.5. Okay. Well, that's a lot better. The this edge is just a hair. But I don't want center distance. Okay, so you know how I can get like the top edge of the circle up? Yeah, I'm gonna use a mirror. That's what I did earlier. It just apparently all my dimensions were wrong. There we go. That's what I wanted. Okay. Okay, that's right. So then what about... Nope, it's definitely not that high. We'll just leave it at that for 7.5 so I can figure out if that'll work. Okay. Alright, so I need to that and that. Okay. Object. Why is it going all the way through? Oh, because I have that outer circle when I did the big extrude. Alright, well. Why does that still say that there's an issue? There's a lost projection point? But where? Delete it. I don't know, Carl. Maybe you can help me out. Model the part first, just the basic shape, then model the bracket. That's what we did. I moved the sketches in the back and like in a couple different orders just because of how we built it. But yeah, I built the whole inner shape first, and then I built the bracket kind of around it. But I don't understand this part, why it thinks that these 2 points are still an issue when I keep telling it like break the link or delete the geometry or relink. I mean, I don't even know what it's trying to do. I may just have to rebuild this whole thing once I like figure out some of these little issues. Well, it got little to no, almost no drooping under the big holes. So, it's a hidden reference point. Well, that point right there, I don't even know what that goes to. Oh, it's an origin point. Okay. All right. Guess we can see how that one works. Oh, man. I am exhausted. All right. Well, I think I'm just going to send this as is to the printer, get some measurements. But I'm going to do it on the other one, make sure that my scale is not just horrible on this K280, that I didn't miss something on dimensional accuracy here. Carl, I'll probably hit you up tomorrow then at some point, or at least just message you, see if you have time tomorrow. Cause yeah, I'm pooped. Yeah, I'm gonna send this to the printer and then we'll go from there in the morning after I do measurements and all that jazz, and we'll figure something out. But I appreciate everybody hanging out and sticking with me through this very long how to model a simple basic part. But we'll try to get something going here pretty quick, and then I'll put it out on the media once I get a final thing that y'all can have, which hopefully should only be like a day or two. I'm hoping. So yeah. GOT. Okay. Alrighty. Y'all have fun. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll do this again next week if you don't hear from me before then. Thanks again.